السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على حبيبك ورسولك محمد المصطفى وعلى آله وصحابه وسلم. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who have restored back our souls after it has been taken yesterday night, and unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we shall all return. I testify to his oneness and his existence, and I equally testify to the prophethood of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our fasting, to accept our salah, to accept our dua, our just concluded SAHUR. May Allah accept it from us as an act of ibadah. Dear viewers, I greet you all in the best mode of greeting by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank Allah once again that we are all still living to witness yet another Ramadan and to be part of SAHUR life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to spare our life for the best and for the good of humanity. This morning, I will be discussing briefly on another important topic within the list of topics we are going to be discussing in this year's SAHUR life. This morning topic is the rights of other human beings on a Muslim. The rights of other human beings on a Muslim. This word called rights can equally be explained to mean your duty to another person is the right of that person from you. So I can as well say that this title is the duty of Muslim to other human beings. So they are still the same. But before we go into details, who are these human beings we are referring to? These human beings are any creation of Almighty Allah. That is human being. What does that mean? Is that your duty or your rights to other human being is not what you can deny as a result of somebody is not a Muslim. Once he's a human being, he has some rights from you, and depending on who is that human being we are discussing, because the categories of human beings vary in Islam. Take for example, part of human being happens to be your parents. Your rights, the rights of your parents is different from the right of your neighbor. Now, your neighbor is equally another human being. If your neighbor happens to be a Muslim or is not a Muslim, being that is your neighbor, it has some rights you have to give to that person. Your colleagues in the office are equally other human beings. And being colleagues in the office, he has certain right from you as a Muslim. Your fellow colleagues, either professional colleagues or community colleagues, any form of, once that person is a human being, you need to understand that you have to give that person certain rights. This right is ordained by Almighty Allah and is very, very critical for a Muslim to make sure that he gives the right of other human beings. It's not because we are discussing other human beings. When because of issue of rights in Islam, it cut across human beings and even lesser animals. Everybody has their different rights from us that we need to look at. Now, but broadly, human being generally, based on Islamic doctrine, is either that person is a Muslim or is a non-Muslim. Now, when it becomes an issue of rights, the rights of other human being who is a Muslim and the rights of other human being who is not a Muslim, what is the position of our religion? The position of our religion is that you must give each person their rights. Take for example, somebody happens to be a non-Muslim but that person is celebrating something of importance to him. Take for example, he has just been appointed either as a commissioner or as a DG or as an ES of any organization. Yes, he's not a Muslim, but part of his right from you is to felicitate with him. You have to show that with him. They say, no. No. Islamically, you have to. Why? The only time you draw line on any rights is if human beings' rights is now going to affect the rights of Allah. Then you draw the line. And that's a red line. You don't cross it. Aside that one, you give everybody their right. What I'm trying to say in essence is that the right of somebody, your parents, take for example, your parents, for one reason or the other, they are not Muslims, but they are your parents. That does not mean you have to deny them their rights. As a parent, you have to give them their right. If they are sick, you have to take good care of them. You have to provide their feeding. You have to provide their shelter. Yes, they are not Muslim, but they are still your parents. You give them the rights as a parent. Now, we are in an office or in an organization. I happen to be the leader and you happen to be a follower. What is my right from the follower and what is my right if I'm the leader? One of the things I want to stress this morning, I will not go into detail about the rights that has to do with materials, but let me bring out the following rights that you have to give to people that are more important. One, counseling or advice. Every human being that have access to you has the right to be advised, and you have to provide it. If you approach you have to advise him. And if you're advising him, advise him based on what is right. Part of it is that you must extend hands of cooperation with your fellow human being. Ta'awanu 'alal birri wa taqwa. That's what the Quran says. Cooperate with others. 'Alal birri wa taqwa, on righteous deeds and the fear of Allah. Take for example, you are in a community and they want to bring out a kind of a NGO that will be overseeing the cleanliness or the security of the environment. You have to provide and you have to pay certain amount of money. Giving them that money is a duty bound on you and it's a right that they need to collect from you as a Muslim. I'm trying to bring out some of these issues. We are fasting, we are praying, we are reading the Quran, but we are not passing the message of Quran. And the message of the Quran can better be seen and can better be appreciated if it is translated into relationship. If it is translated into relationship, then it gives you more better opportunity. So dear viewers, this morning we want us to understand that people have their rights. And your neighbor fell sick. It is his right that you pay him or her visit. Your neighbor lost somebody. He has the right from you to condole him. Your neighbor has something, accident or any misfortune, whatever, either good or bad, you have to show that thing. It's very, very important. The essence is that, yes, and I want to briefly try to, correct an impression. And that is when we turn gifts of right to individual as an exchange. If you give me my right, I'll give him his own right. It's not like that Islamically. Because that right of that human being before you is something Allah has ordained. So if you deny that person, it's as good as you are denying the commandment of Allah. So you shouldn't say because he has not, somebody owns your own right does not mean you deny that person his own right. Take for example, when you greet somebody, he does not respond. You have exchanged greeting, but he did not respond. For him to respond is a duty bound on him, but he did not. But for one reason or the other, he on another occasion greets you, but you decide not to respond. Why? Because the other time he too did not know. You have turned yourself to be a sinner. because that's not the instruction of Islam. That's not the commandment of Allah. So in other words, for the fact that somebody deny you your own right, it does not mean that you block him from his own right from you. Part of the right you need to give to other human being. You have something with you in excess, and you have another human being beside you that do not have. Share such things with that person. To be more practical, are you somebody that when you open your wardrobe, there are some clothes in that wardrobe for the past 3 years you have never even used them? It means that if you have a cloth in your wardrobe for the past 3 years, you are not using it. It suggests that you have more than enough. But some did not. Can you take a look at your wardrobe and see the clothes you are not using, and see other people who are in need and share with them? You stock your own refrigerator with foods that can last till another 1 month, but somebody is living closer to you in abject poverty. He cannot eat, he cannot drink. It is the right of that person on you to provide for that person because you have it in excess. Yeah. Somebody fell sick and he needs some money for medication, and you have this money. You are not sick. You thank Allah for that. Giving that person money to purchase such things is as good as you are extending your gratitude to Almighty Allah, who did not put you in that situation and we equally give you the opportunity to give to others. Dear brothers and dear viewers, we can continue from now to tomorrow on this category. Your children, they are equally not human beings. They have some right from you in terms of feeding, in terms of accommodation, in terms of schooling, in terms of guidance and counseling. Yeah, in terms of supporting them, you have to do all these ones. Your wife are equally another human being that you live together. You have to share a right with her every time. Yeah, your siblings are other human beings. They equally have some rights from you that you need to give them. Yeah, all this category of human being, whether they are Muslims or they are non-Muslims, they still have the rights. It is your duty to provide them their rights as long as you have the ability to do that. Dear viewers at home, this is the month of Ramadan. If you have what you use to take your sahur till the end of the month, and you did not care about your neighbors who is struggling on how to take sahur, please have a change of heart and extend some things to such person. Yeah, these are some of the things that we need to do in this month of Ramadan. The giving of sadaqah is part of giving. It's part of rights. Yeah, for whoever is in need, and you have given that person, it becomes the right of that person on you. And that was exactly what happened. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, when somebody wants to make a friend with him, he said, "Can you make a friend with me? Can I be your brother? Do you think you can be my brother?" Say, "Why not? But can you allow me to do as I like on your property?" Because he considered it to be for the two of them. There are so many examples that we can give in Islam, but what is more critical now, especially in our contemporary society now, which is the right of all other human beings, is you can support them with your prayers. Let us use this month of Ramadan to pray for our country. We have just concluded another selection process for the leader of this country. But we should not rest. Use this month of Ramadan to pray for peace, harmony, tranquility, successful administration. This is the time we need to put all these requests before Allah. Yeah, because it is the right of other human being from you to pray for them. Yes. And the Prophet ﷺ let us understand that when you are making a dua for somebody who is not there, there's some angel that will say Ameen. They will be saying Ameen under your prayer. And they said exactly what you are praying for that person should be for you as well. So viewers at home, I want to implore us that let us be dutiful to other human beings by making sure that we give the rights of others while we are expecting others to to give us their own right, to give us our right from them. But should in case other human beings decide not to give you your own right, please do not deny them their own right with you, because that is the only thing you are going to account for on Yom Al Qiyamah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the best understanding of his message and give us the ability to put it into practice. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.